The year is 2023. The United States Agency for International Development, USAID for those who like their acronyms like their coffee, strong and everywhere, has just announced it splashed out a cool $72 billion in aid. That's billion, with a B. Now before you start picturing a Scrooge McDuck-sized money bin with a giant American flag on it, let's break down where exactly those greenbacks went. Topping the charts, unsurprisingly, is Ukraine. Grappling with, let's call it a geopolitical disagreement, they received a hefty chunk of that aid, over $16 billion. Now, that's a lot of money. We're talking enough to buy every single person in Los Angeles a year's supply of avocado toast, with some left over for a decent latte. But hold on, because Ukraine wasn't the only recipient. While they might be the headliner act in this global aid concert, there's a whole supporting cast of countries also receiving assistance. And some might argue that understanding where the rest of that money went is just as important as the big, attention-grabbing headline figures. So buckle up, because we're diving into the world of foreign aid where the stakes are high, the players are many, and the questions, well, they're more complicated than a game of geopolitical Risk played on a map drawn by pigeons. Alright, so we've established that Ukraine got a big slice of the USAID pie. But what about everyone else? Let's think of it like a Thanksgiving dinner. Ukraine got the biggest turkey leg, sure, but there's still a whole table full of side dishes, and some of them are surprisingly hefty. Ethiopia, for example, pulled up a chair and received a respectable $1.7 billion. Jordan, holding down the fort in a volatile region, got a cool billion. Afghanistan, still reeling from, well, everything, received a similar amount. And let's not forget Somalia, Congo, Syria, Nigeria, Yemen, and South Sudan, all receiving a significant chunk of aid ranging from $740 million to $936 million. Now I know what you're thinking, those numbers are a bit, shall we say, all over the place, and you'd be right. But that's kind of the point of foreign aid, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. Each country has its own unique set of challenges, and USAID tailors its assistance accordingly. So we've talked numbers, but what does this aid actually look like on the ground? Is it just pallets of cash being airdropped onto foreign soil? Spoiler alert, it's not, though I'm sure some governments wouldn't mind. USAID's work is surprisingly diverse. Think of them as the Swiss Army knife of global development. They've got tools for everything from disaster relief and humanitarian aid, a cool $15.6 billion spent there, to tackling public health crises like HIV/AIDS, $10.6 billion. They even dabble in promoting democracy and good governance, a relative bargain at $2.3 billion. They're like that friend who's always there to help you move, except instead of just boxes, they're moving entire countries towards a better future. And while their methods might be debated, their goal is clear: to create a more stable, prosperous, and, dare I say, boring world. Now, you didn't think $72 billion would get spent without a little controversy, did you? Enter stage left, the Trump administration, with advisor Elon Musk whispering in one ear and, let's be honest, probably a tweet queued up on his phone. Their plan? To shut down USAID entirely. The reason? Well, according to them, the agency is run by radical lunatics and beyond repair. Subtlety, thy name is not Trump. This of course caused a bit of a stir. Democratic senators cried foul, arguing that dismantling USAID is about as legal as jaywalking across the Atlantic Ocean. So, what's the future hold for USAID? Is it destined for the scrap heap of history, or will it rise from the ashes like a phoenix, albeit one holding a very large checkbook? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: the world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher.